Greetings YouTube, Sega Zombie here and welcome back guys to another video, and this is covering the London Gamer Market, the 7th of November 2021. Me and Jade, we went to the previous London Gamer Market, 4 or 5 months ago now, and we had an absolute blast. We picked up loads of great retro games, but we also got some tremendous bargains on these games. But what ultimately made the day was meeting fellow YouTubers, fellow retro collectors, and just meeting some tremendous like-minded people that just love games, and all that passion shines through. It was just a tremendous experience. Couldn't wait to go to this one. Jade, as you can see, she couldn't make this London Gamer Market unfortunately because she had some family commitments, but I'm telling you now, when I got back late Sunday night and was telling her the tales of the whole day, she was genuinely gutted because she really wanted to catch up with some of the people that she made really good friends with the last time, and obviously there was loads of new tubers there and people she's yet to meet. It's a tremendous day guys. Again, this is probably the most I've bought from a market, a gaming market. So at the end of this video we've got some absolute blinders, new pathways for the journey. Keep watching guys, because I'm telling you now, I'm taking a path that even I didn't know I was going to take. Start from the very beginning. I drove to my hometown to go and pick up my good friend, a friend from school days, Ian Stewart. Now Ian Stewart is not a YouTuber, but he's well known on Facebook and all the retro groups. I've been plaguing him for years to get onto YouTube because he's got an absolutely tremendous collection, and his knowledge is tremendous. So me and him had a long old drive. It was great just to have not just the event, but to have a great catch up with you, Ian, mate. We're a bit delayed because we got a little bit lost when we actually got to Holborn Station. We put it on our phones. Essex Retro Rob, he told us that if we got off at Holborn, it's a 5-minute walk to the event. Wow, we ended up walking about 15 minutes the wrong way, and we was just going around the London city blocks. But we got there in the end. We got to the event. Most of the tubers were messaging me saying we're already gone in there, you know, we've waited for you. And we got in there about 12 o'clock on the dot really, which weren't too bad considering the time we got in the queues. Now, the one significant thing I learnt from this London Gaming Market to the previous one is that the previous one was back in June, when lockdown was only just starting to lift and there were still restrictions in place. Yesterday's event felt so much more normal. You know, it felt like we're getting back to some normality. The first person I noticed, and he was helping a seller, it must have been a friend of his, was Roger Cantor. And Rog, it was great to catch up with you again, mate. And I finally gave him an item that he wanted off Retro Chef Lee's swap shop. So I managed to give him that item. He was chuffed with that. And more about Roger later, because I did actually get a purchase off Rog. The first tuber I see was Rob, Gurnaldiniho Plays, and it's always a pleasure to meet Rob. A top man, a really great, genuine guy who I can spend hours talking with Rob. And people were just coming and going and was chatting to so many people that by the time I met up with Essex Retro Rob and his lovely Mrs. Joe, great people. I've been itching to meet Rob because we chat an awful lot in WhatsApp, on Messenger and the like, and what a fantastic guy. You know, you won't meet a more honest guy than Rob, and me and him I think hit it off really well. We was chatting an awful lot, so I found that for the first sort of like 45 minutes an hour I didn't do much looking. You couldn't. There was so many people in there. It was quite overwhelming from the last one. You just literally couldn't get to the stalls in that initial rush. It was crazy. But you have to try and weave your way in, ducking and diving and getting through the people to see what is on these tables. And didn't disappoint guys, got loads of stuff. Like I said, I'm going to share it all at the end. But let's just go through some more people I met, some more fantastic YouTubers. One of my great friends. I regard him as a true, really close friend because I've known him a number of years now. And that's Alex, Nintendo Arcade. Great to see you at the London Gamer Market, Alex, because I know you was gutted you couldn't make the last one. And he was going around just churning up games. I think he had 2 carrier bags full of games before I even got started. You know, it was crazy. And we were all standing in the first room because, again, it was spread over 3 rooms. And I was in that first room for a long time because I was just literally catching up with people and talking to them. And then I noticed Cine Steve. Now, Cine Steve was helping Paul Villas and his massive stall. He had a great stall again this time, Paul. And Cine Steve was helping him out because it was a really busy day. Got to catch up with Steve. Didn't get to speak to Steve as much as I normally do because mid-conversation he's having to serve people. But hopefully a real good catch up with Cine Steve real soon. So they're the sort of main tubers that I hung around with throughout the day. But I met other YouTubers in there, which was great. We got loads of selfies. It was really good. One of the tubers that I did meet and have a long chat with, and he's always commenting on my videos, and that's MSX. A great guy. Chatted to him for quite a bit at Japanese Alan or Scottish Alan's stall. We had a good long chat there. I spoke to so many people. I just wish I got more names. But someone that I definitely spoke to, this was when I was looking at a load of Master System games, and that was Martin, that UK gamer. It was nice to meet you, Martin. Someone that I really couldn't believe. I would see him as I was looking at a stall. Just standing there, and I was like, oh my god, a 16 bits and bobs. Ali, what a great guy you are, mate. Loved having a chat with you. You're just as bubbly as you are in real life as you are on your videos, which I love that, mate. Absolutely brilliant. So it was good to have a chat with you. And you've got them real minty, can I say it, Sonic games. And you was telling me your idea and what you're going to do with your Sonic collection going forward. But what I love about Ali is he knows it's real. He knows it's all about Sega. Oh yeah! Just the sort of like last hour before the London Gamer Market started winding down is when we really got the deals going. This is when it got exciting. And I got to meet Ed Hunts. What a great guy. What an absolutely great guy. And thank you, Eddie, for all them kind words you said about the channel. I was a bit taken aback by that, but it was great to meet you, mate. All of the channels I mentioned, every tuber, as always, guys, will get a link in the description box below this video. So if you haven't checked these YouTubers out, first off, where you been? And secondly, get down there and go and like, subscribe and watch these guys' content because these are all fantastic YouTubers. So there we go, guys. There's a brief lowdown of what went down yesterday. I've tried to keep it as brief as I can. This is me we're talking about here. I know what you want is the pickups, and here we go. Going back to Roger Cantor. I couldn't believe some of the games Roger had put out on his mate's stall. And I was just taken aback. There's this one game in particular that when I had this system, I tried so hard to get it. The only times it ever pop up on eBay is eBay Japan. It's quite a difficult game to track down here in the UK. But unfortunately, I've sold that system a few years ago now. Doesn't matter because I'm just chuffed to put this game in my collection. This was the first purchase of the day. And that is the Sega My Card. And look at that absolutely awesome box art. Can you guess what this game is from the box art? Yes, one of my favourite games of all time. And that is Hero. So Hero was a game that was released by Activision on the 2600, the Atari 2600. It was also released on all the home micros. You had it out on the Spectrum, which plays rather nice on the Specky. It plays good on the Commodore 64. What other versions we got? Last year, I managed to track down the extremely rare Coleco version, box complete in mint condition of Hero. And it's a game that me and my mate Gary used to play so much when we were kids. And to get Sega's take on it is absolutely brilliant. It's still obviously an Activision game, but Sega have made it look an awful lot more Japanese. And look at this, these boxes are lovely. I do miss these out of my collection. because I had the Sega SG-1000, but this will work on the SC-3000, the SG-1000, or the Sega Mark III. So perhaps I might have to get a Sega Mark III at some point. But look at that, guys. Look at that condition. Roger, this is... Roger, the salesman he is, was trying to get me to buy all his other ones. But he done me a cracking deal on this. Thank you so much, Rog. He's a mate, so I'm not going to say the price, because he really did look after me on this. But that booklet, you know, all this cardboard, for the age it is, let's have a little look. It's got to have a year on here. I'd say, I was going to say 1984, but it was reprogrammed by Sega in 1985. So, you know, and look at that. The card is in its original little plastic sleeve. Yeah, I just want this on the shelf. I just want it in the collection, guys. Because Hero, one of my favourite games, and Sega. You know, that is just a perfect mix. A nice little subset. Maybe I'll try and get all of the Hero releases if I can. But saying that, I was talking to Alex, and even the 2600 version, which was a £15-20 game, is skyrocketed. So we'll put that there. That was the first purchase of the day. Thank you so much, Roger. Absolutely chuffed sick with that. The second purchase of the day was... This blew me away. It really took me back. And I went up to a stall and I chose these two games. You're going to have to excuse the crinkly bags. I hate the sound of them. I'll try and be as less crinkly as I can. But this was a stall, and they had all their games that were in crinkly bags were what they deemed as really good condition, complete. So I picked these two games. Those of you that are watching my Master System collection video, where I'm asking myself the question, has my game collecting habits changed? Those of you that have seen that will see that I've got some pretty poor condition games. So one of these games caught my eye straight away because it's a fantastic conversion on the Master System, and it needed to be put into the Sega wall straight away. And then the other game was actually a game that I didn't realise I didn't have on the Master System, and it's a classic. So I picked these two games up. I went to the gentleman that was running the stall and I said, "Excuse me, mate, would you do a deal on these two games?" And he said, "Yes, as I know that you are Sega Zombie, I will do you a deal." And I was like, "What?" And then he said, "And I know you're originally from Ipswich." And I was like, "Yes, I am." And I said, "How do you know this?" And he says, "One, me and my son watch your channel. And two, we're also from Ipswich." And I was just blown away from it. They've gave me a card, and that's Suffolk Game Trader. So thank you so much, David, and your son. I didn't catch your son's name, but thank you so much for doing me a great deal on these. First one out of the crinkly bag. We've got Tato's Chase HQ on the Master System. Can you see one of the ways we're going here? But look at that, guys. In lovely condition. You know, this is how a Master System game should be. Not that fucking crap that was shown on my video. But look, here we go. This is what we're talking about. That's absolutely beautiful. I'm really chuffed with that. And it's still got the original Sega sticker at the bottom there. So pleased with that one. Thank you so much, Suffolk Game Traders. The second one, let's get it out of the crinkly bag. Chuck that down now. We have got Fantasy Zone. I was shocked that I didn't have this game. I really thought I had it. But again, this is in lovely condition. The manual not quite as pristine as Chase HQ, but acceptable. I'm happy with that. A little bit of patina don't hurt. You know, a little bit of... It's been played. This game has been played. I'm happy with that. I'm sure, you know, I can live with that little tiny bit flapping over there. But there we go, guys. Fantasy Zone. Absolutely chuffed with that. £30 paid for those two, which I thought was pretty good. Let me know in comments, guys, what you think of the prices I've paid for some of these and what you think of these games. Have any of you played, apart from you, Rog, has anyone played Hero on the Sega system? I'd love to know, guys. What's your favourite port of Hero? Next up, I got chatting to a guy. It was me, Ian, and Rob Gurnaldiniho. We were chatting to this guy. He was quite a small vendor there, and sometimes they can be the best vendors. The ones that haven't got the big, huge stalls and like the big boys. This was a guy that was a bit more of a small-time trader by the looks of it. And I got chatting to him for ages about Sega, about retro game collecting in general. I was telling him about the Sega wall and what I'd achieved. And he was a really nice guy. Unfortunately, I didn't catch his name. But we chatted for ages. And he ended up doing me an absolutely fantastic deal on this next lot of games. He really did, guys. And again, a lot of them are in crinkly bags. This is kind of like the trend now. But we have got California games. Complete. Let's have a little look, shall we? This one, unfortunately, hasn't got the hang tab. But again, it's in good enough condition for me. The actual cover to this is really clean. Really clean. Because it's looking for them white covers that haven't yellowed, and I'm happy with that manual. That's pretty good. So we got California games. Next up was a game that really interested me, actually. I've not played this game before. It looks my type of thing, and that is Running Battle. A neighbouring city has fallen into the hands of the sinister M and his soldiers of the darkness. Get inside the dark zone and punch, kick and blast your way through to the final conflict. This kind of looks a bit like a run and gun beat 'em up. You know, it's got really nice graphics. And, you know, this is my sort of game. I've never played it before. But again, look at the condition, guys. Let me know in comments, have you played Running Battle? I'd love to know your thoughts on the game. I've not had a chance to play any of these yet. I've got a busy week and I'll be spending my evenings chilling out to loads of Master System. I really will. So Running Battle, guys. Really chuffed with that. But it doesn't stop there with it. He also done me Super League, a Japanese game. I had to get a Mega Drive game, and I was kind of gutted because I was hoping that there'd be some Genesis there. There was plenty of Japanese games there, obviously, with Japanese, Scottish Allen, and a few other stalls had some Japanese games, but I've noticed that the price has really hiked up in Japanese games, and they're above the prices I was willing to pay, really. You know, these were higher than eBay. That's where it really was at with the London gamer market, is the real desirable stuff, the shooters, the stuff that's, you know, really sought after. They were commanding crazy prices there. Not going to a London gaming market without getting myself a Mega Drive game. And that was this, and that is Super League, Japanese release. It's got no manual, which I actually didn't know that at the time. I just presumed because it was in the baggie it did, so I'm a bit gutted about that. But it was £4, you know. We'll add that in. God, that didn't have a manual. I didn't realise that. This one, guys, this one blew me away. And the guy really showed this one off. And that is Back to the Future 3. Let's get this out now. Unfortunately, it's not a great game. I've never played the Master System version. I'd imagine it's very similar to the Mega Drive game. And those of you that follow me on social media will know that I sat there for a whole session and I finished this game on the Mega Drive. God, it's 3 years ago now. 3 or 4 years ago. I think I posted it up on my Sega Zombie group with the screenshots of me completing this on the Mega Drive, and that was a mission. It was a mission. But look at this, guys. This is absolutely mint. Look at that. This manual is just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. And then we've got the poster pamphlet in the back there. But this was the game that I was talking to him about to start off with. This is what led to this deal. But that is in absolutely lovely condition. believe it might be an American release, maybe, possibly. It's definitely a different variant to what I've seen. Let me know in comments if you know. But that definitely looks like a different variant. Yeah, it's got Microsoft Limited, Sega Enterprises made in Japan. I thought it said something about America, but it doesn't. Is there different variants of this games, guys? Let me know. I need to know. But that is minty mint. Absolutely chuffed with that. And then we got a couple of games. And they're sort of like just shelf fillers, really. But again, these are in lovely, nice condition. We've got casino games. I actually like the box art to that. I'm not going to lie. I actually think that's alright. But again, it's complete. It's in half decent nick. Casino games. And then finally, sticking with that theme, we've got parlour games. So what we got on here? Snooker. Darts by the looks of it. Billiards. Bingo. Darts. Oh, but yeah, it's got its hang tab. It's complete. It's got the manual. The manual looks okay. The cart got a little bit of damage to the sticker there, which I was unaware of. You know, he done me such a fantastic deals on this, and we was chatting so much, I kind of got a bit carried away, I think. So we got that. And this is where the path changes, guys. This is where my journey into being a collector, a gamer, is kind of changing. And like I've said to you all for the last few videos now, and this has been going on for a few months, is I am obsessed with 8-bit. I'm loving 8-bit at the moment. This is what's really sparked my passion for the Master System. I'm playing loads of Specky, and I do the Spectrum Spectacular, and a lot of my time is taken up with the Spectrum Next and my original Specky +2, +3. I play an awful lot of Spectrum, guys. And now there's a new contender. Now, I've dabbled in this slightly because those of you that watch my live streams, which live streams will be coming back, guys, big time. More news on that really soon. But I've started dabbling into Famicom, which all of you know. I started playing a lot of Famicom a while ago, but my Famicom actually gave up the ghost and is not working. I still need to send that off actually to Simon Locke. I haven't had chance to do that because it's been modified and all that with the composite board thing that goes in the back, but there's something wrong with it. It's just completely dead, and I was really gutted, and I ended up buying myself a Retro Freak because I thought not only can I play Famicom games, I can play NES games. Now to begin with, I was kind of more interested in the sort of early arcade conversions, a lot of the SNK games, Taito games, stuff that came out predominantly more in America, in North America, than it did here in the UK. So again, you've got no problems with the regions on the Retro Freak. So I've dabbled in a few of those games, but I think being with Alex Nintendo Arcade, he's rubbed off on me. He's rubbed off on me, guys, and I've now decided that I really want to chase the nostalgic NES games that my brother had. Me and my brother had many years ago, because I remember I had the Mega Drive, and my brother for Christmas he got the NES. So the last game to complete this deal is Super Off-Road, and this is a game that we used to absolutely love. I don't think there's a bad port of this game. I really don't. I think this plays great on every system. Guys, in comments, let me know, one, your memories of Super Off-Road, and what you think is the best version of Super Off-Road. Now, he was selling this for £12 complete. I need to get that label off there, but I don't think that box is bad at all. That's not too bad. I'll get that in a protector, and that's going to be quite nice. Again, The cartridge is in lovely condition. Got a little bit of lifting at the top there, but some Pritt stick will soon sort that out. I'll glue that back down. The manual's nice. And we've got one of the generic sleeves in there. There's no... Oh, yes, there is. There is the polystyrene at the bottom there, which is great. See, I'm getting to know this lingo. Alex, I'm getting to know it. The bit of poly at the bottom. But this definitely needs a box protector. But I'm going down that road, guys. I'm going down that road. I'm following a Nintendo path. I think it's a bit of Jade and a bit of Alex. What you doing to me, people? But look at that. So there you go. All of that. And I paid 55 quid all in on those, which he done me a fantastic deal. That was lots of money knocked off, guys. So I was really pleased with that. Thank you again, whoever you were. I can't remember your name, but that was a tremendous deal. Got to move these games down a bit now, guys, because this is the last deal done, and it was done with Mr. Paul Villas, my new best friend, Paul. We get on well, Paul. But I know that will make him chuckle, because me and him hadn't spoken for a number of years. There was an incident that happened on Facebook on one of the groups many years ago. Unfortunately, people got involved with it, and it caused a bit of tension between me and Paul, shall we say. But we've buried the hatchet. Me and Paul are good friends now. And he done me a cracking deal last time. And he's not stopped there. He's done another cracking deal. It continues again, guys, with Master System games. And we've got arcade smash hits. First up. Now, I put these to one side straight away. As soon as I got in the market, Paul was kind enough to put these behind the stall so I could have a rummage around. Oh, we'll put that round the right way before Tootie kicks off. But there we go. It's nice and complete. And on here, defend cities from never-ending nuclear attack and missile command. Bash bricks with a bat and ball it in breakout. Eradicate a garden full of mutant insects in Centipede for the first time ever. 3 classic arcade blasts from the past are brought back together in one cartridge for unlimited playability. And these look really good ports. I'm really intrigued to see what these play, because I actually really like Centipede. And Breakout, I was more into Arkanoid really. And Missile Command is a good quick blast for me. But it's mostly all about Centipede for me. You know, what do these play like, guys? I'm looking forward to giving that a go, that one. A game that I just had to put in the collection just because it's based on the arcade game. It's a conversion of the classic Galaxy Force. I'm not imagining this is going to run very well on the Master System because it didn't run great on the Mega Drive, if I'm being honest. But again, it's complete. There is a bit of pencil on there. I'm sure that's going to rub off. But it's in nice condition. It's got its hang tab. There's no yellowing or stains to that cover. So I'm really pleased with that. And then finally, a game that me and Cinny Steve had a bit of chat about. Because he loves this game. And that is Sensible Soccer. He was telling me a tale about how he loved this game. And he still does, doesn't he? On the Amiga. His mate offered him to come round and say, why don't you come round and we'll play some Sensible Soccer? He went round and then his mate had the Master System version. So he's kind of trying to put me off it, I believe. But no, it needed to go in the collection. And look at this, guys. This is in absolutely gorgeous condition. Look at that. Lovely condition, that. Absolutely chuffed with that. Thank you so much, Paul. And then I'm going to save the best item, what I consider the best item, till last that I got off Paul. But this is where my journey really is changing. We're going back to Nintendo here. First up, we've got Gremlins 2. And this is all in fantastic condition. I'm not going to take it all out and show you because I did check all these. It's still got the price on there. That's not what I paid for these, guys. So yeah, Gremlins 2, guys. What's your memories of Gremlins 2? Let me know. Where are we going to put these? gonna have to put them there, aren't we? We'll move Hero. We'll move Hero here. Another game that's so nostalgic. I loved this on the Game Boy. Loved it on the Spectrum. That's my favourite port. Bit disappointed with it, if I'm being honest, on the NES. I don't think it is anywhere near as good as the Specky version or the Game Boy version. And that's RoboCop. But look at that cover. And it's RoboCop. And it is a nostalgic game. We had it back in the day. And I grew to like it. You know, we played it an awful lot. Now, but yeah, look at that. It's got a little tiny bit of sticker damage where that had its original seal on. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Oh, this one's in a baggie. But look at that. This don't disappoint. That is in lovely condition. This one's in a baggie. It's even got the free membership card there. Always nice to have those little bits. And the cartridge is beautiful. Look at that. I'm really pleased with these because I'm not going to have many Nintendo games. I'm not going to go mad and start collecting loads of NES games. I just want the 12 or so games that me and my brother had back in the day. A bit of Polly's getting annoying. Just putting this back in the box, guys. As you can see, I'm a novice when it comes to Nintendo. A Nintendo novice! Yeah, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm still going to go with a lot of the American sort of arcade games when it comes to trying something new. And, oh, finally. And then what I might do is, I definitely want the 12 or so games that we had as kids. Definitely. And then I'll just dabble in a few that interest me, that intrigues me. So there's RoboCop. And it doesn't stop there, guys. The final NES game until we get to the final game I purchased of the day, bar one, is, and I've said this many a times in many streams, on many people's videos, that my favourite game on the NES is Blades of Steel. Blades of Steel. Face off. This one doesn't look like it's as as in good condition as these games. It looks like it's got a little bit more wear, but it's there. You know, it's complete. It's got a little bit of damage there on the top corner, but I noticed that straight away. But I couldn't see this game at the show and not buy it, because me and my brothers played this game so much. So many fond memories of this game. And the speech, again, it's all about the speech. Little bit of crease into the manual. It looks like that's had a bit of an iron. I think Paul's been watching you, Tootie. And yeah, it's got its sleeve and its poly. So yeah, I am so pleased with this, guys. Absolutely chuffed to bits to get Blades of Steel. There was a couple more games there that I was eager to see. One of them was Russian Attack. That was not there. I didn't see that there boxed at all. On another stall there was Batman. Now that's a game I really want to get, because I've got so many memories of that. I can remember one Christmas I was bought Batman on the Game Boy, which was a great game. And my brother was bought Batman on the NES. And I just remember being so jealous, because I loved the NES version more than I did the Game Boy. You know, I loved my Game Boy back in the day, but I played it when I went to a relation's house, when we went to a family friend's house, driving in the car. But when I was at home, I didn't really play the Game Boy. I was more about my consoles, and I wanted to play Batman. And I loved Batman growing up, still do. Still got a lot of love for Batman. So that's a game I really want to get. That's high up my list, guys. So if any of you are selling a nice condition in the similar sort of condition to these of Batman, please let me know. Get in touch with me, because I'll be more than willing to buy that off you. But Blades of Steel, my #1 NES game. But finally, off Paul Villa's, something to go with my little subset of collecting all of the House of the Dead. And that is the Typing of the Dead with the keyboard. I just had to get this. I clocked it as soon as I got in there. I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to say nothing to Paul. We'll leave it on the shelf that he had it on. Didn't get him to put it away because I thought I was kind of hoping that someone did buy it, because I knew if it was still there at the end of the day, I was going to have it. Now, it's in lovely condition. And what's really cool about this is it comes with the keyboard. Like a miniature keyboard. Now, the Japanese game of Typing of the Dead is a little bit strange, because how the words are phrased, because it's Japanese, can be a little bit confusing. It is in English, but it's just how it's phrased can be a bit off-putting, I found. So I did buy the American release of Typing of the Dead quite a while ago, but I now have the Japanese version now. Comes in this lovely fold-out cardboard sleeve there. I don't know if this just pulls out or not. Let's have a little look, shall we? Yeah, that's all tucked in there. So what I'm going to do, guys, is lift this up just to show you what it looks like. But there's the keyboard. Nice miniature keyboard, unlike the official Dreamcast one, which was sort of like a standard size keyboard. This is a nice see-through, clear, transparent keyboard. Lovely set. You know, this is more of a display piece. This is the collector in me talking now. Yeah, it's going to look so good sat with the other House of the Dead sets I've got, because I've got 2 of them on the Wii. I've got the original Saturn House of the Dead game there. I've got the House of the Dead 2 pack for the Dreamcast. You know, it's only fitting that Typing of the Dead has the similar treatment. And finally, guys, a bit of a jump cut there because I struggled to get that back in. But, you know, it's fitting to put Typing of the Dead in a nice big box along with the House of the Dead. And up there I've got House of the Dead 2. I've got the Wii box variants of House of the Dead as well. What do I need? I need the PS2 release of House of the Dead. I need the PC release of House of the Dead. And I need Pinball of the Dead. And then I think I'm complete. But it's a nice little subset. That isn't going to fit on the shelf, guys. I'll hold this. How could I forget my last purchase, guys? I'll splice this in the best I can. But there was one more NES game. This was the last, or the second from last purchase of the day. We was told that we had to start leaving the hall. The sellers were packing up. And I picked up this Isolated Warrior. And this was down to Gurnaldiniho Plays. I remember him doing a video a few months back playing this game. A game he'd never played before. Part of his series. Great channel. Go and check it out, guys. And he played Isolated Warrior. And this is like an isometric top-down run and gun. You know, it looked really good. So, like I'm saying, I'm buying the nostalgic games, but I'll dabble in some of the different ones. And this is one of them. Again, it's complete, in awesome condition. And this is down to Rob that I purchased this. The last game, sort of the day. I actually picked up the game from my good friend Nerdy Geezer. And by the time he messaged me back, the call was closing. I had to run off to the cellar just to get the game for Lee, which he'll showcase in a future video. A game for Lee. Nerdy Geezer. But, you know, I had to put this snippet in. I just thought, oh my god, I've left a game out when I was tidying up. And that is Isolated Warrior, guys. But a fantastic day. tremendous catch up with so many great guys, so many tubers. If I didn't mention you, I'm sorry. It's either I forgot your name or you didn't tell me your name. I spoke to so many people. What do you think of all of this? What do you think of Sega Zombie going Nintendo? Did some of you predict it? Let me know in comments down below. There's more to come. There's still a Master System and the second part of my Master System collection to go. There is YouTuber of the Month coming up really soon. And there is the final Mega Drive countdown video imminent, guys. That will be out before the end of the month. In between, there's going to be Spectrum Spectaculars. There's so much to film, guys. I've got so many videos. And we've got a new series on the horizon. And that is the shop, guys. Retro Realm is happening. And it's happening now at lightning speed. It all went quiet. It's all been frustrating. But there is going to be videos just focusing on me setting up my first retro shop. Retro Realm. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you're aware of when the new content goes out. And please, I would love you all to follow me on my retro selling journey. Because wow, not only am I a retro collector, I'm going to be a retro seller. So, until the next time, guys, I'm Sega Zombie. Goodbye.
Sega Zombie. Sega Zombie. Sega Zombie. Sega Zombie.